How will BRICS expansion affect global trade? The expansion of BRICS, initially comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, to include other key economies such as Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Egypt, Iran, and Ethiopia, marks a significant moment in the shifting dynamics of global trade. This growing coalition of countries, many of which hold strategic, geographic, and economic positions, is poised to reshape the international trade landscape, creating both opportunities and challenges for the broader global economy. As BRICS expands, it has the potential to create a more multipolar world order in which the United States and European-led systems are challenged by a powerful bloc of emerging and resource-rich nations. Here is a closer look at how BRICS expansion will affect global trade, from supply chain to currency use to trade routes and geopolitical relations. Number one, increased intra-BRICS trade. The most immediate impact of BRICS expansion will be an increase in intra-BRICS trade, as the inclusion of additional countries opens up new markets for goods, services, and investments. The bloc's collective economic output, now boosted by the inclusion of large economies like Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, for example, creates enormous opportunity for growth within the group. By promoting greater trade within the bloc, BRICS countries can diversify their trading relationships and reduce dependence on Western markets. For example, the expanded BRICS bloc now includes some of the world's largest energy producers, Saudi Arabia, Russia, and Iran, and some of the most significant energy consumers like China and India. This alignment could lead to a more energy trade settled in local currencies or alternative systems, bypassing traditional Western financial mechanisms like the US dollar and SWIFT. Number two, challenge to the dominance of the US dollar in global trade. One of the primary goals of BRICS is to reduce dependence on the US dollar, particularly in global trade. The US dollar currently accounts for nearly 88% of global trade and financial transactions, given the US outsized influence over international trade flows. However, with BRICS expanding and the developments of a BRICS currency potentially on the horizon, this dominance could be challenged. New BRICS members, especially Saudi Arabia and Iran, which are major oil exporters, have expressed interest in moving away from the petrodollar system. If BRICS can facilitate trade in local currencies or new common currency, it could reduce the reliance on the US dollar, particularly for commodity-based trade like oil, gas, and agricultural products. This move will allow BRICS members to sidestep potential US sanctions, and countries outside BRICS might also seek to join this system, leading to a more multipolar financial landscape. For example, Saudi Arabia's willingness to trade oil in yuan, the Chinese currency, or a BRICS currency would significantly impact the demand for US dollars in global energy markets, reducing dollar liquidity and potentially raising the cost of US borrowing. Number three, impact on global supply chains. This inclusion of diverse economies like Ethiopia, for example, and Egypt adds new dimensions to the BRICS supply chain network, particularly in terms of access to strategic trade routes and resources. Ethiopia and Egypt hold key geographical positions that could affect the flow of goods through Africa, especially along the Red Sea and the Suez Canal, which are critical for global shipping. China, the world's largest exporter and a dominant force in global manufacturing, may benefit from greater supply chain integration with these new BRICS partners. This could enable China to expand its influence over trade routes in Africa and West Asia. For example, Chinese investments in Africa's infrastructure as part of the BRI, the Belt and Road Initiative, could be bolstered by the expansion of BRICS, allowing for smoother transportation of goods and raw material. At the same time, BRICS expansion offers opportunities for diversification in global supply chain, particularly in critical sectors like technology, pharmaceutical, and renewable energy. Number 4, shifting trade routes and geopolitical influence. BRICS expansion brings with it geopolitical shifts that would undoubtedly affect global trade. The addition of key Middle Eastern and African players expands the group's geographical influence, giving BRICS control over critical trade routes like the Suez Canal through Egypt and oil-rich regions of West Asia, Saudi Arabia, and Iran. This positions the bloc to exert greater control over global shipping routes and maritime trade, which could lead to increased political influence in international waters and trade policies. Furthermore, new BRICS members could expand their roles in regional trade agreements, boosting cross-border commerce in Africa, West Asia, and South America. The group may look to deepen regional integration through agreements like the African Continental Free Trade Area or South American Economic Initiative, creating opportunities for seamless trade within the bloc. At the same time, BRICS nations might become less reliant on Western-controlled trade routes and alliances, shifting the balance of power in favor of emerging markets. China and Russia, for instance, could use the expansion as an opportunity to bypass Western sanctions and at the same time strengthen their strategic alliance with countries that share economic and geopolitical interests outside of the US-led system. 5. Potential for increased trade conflict. While BRICS expansion opens up new trade opportunities, it also increases the potential for trade conflicts within Western nations, particularly the US and the EU. As BRICS seek to build an alternative global trade system, it may challenge existing trade agreements, raise tariffs, or implement new trade rules that benefit BRICS nations at the expense of Western economies. For example, if BRICS nations begin to favor intra-bloc trade and reduce imports from Western countries, it could lead to protectionist policies and retaliatory tariffs from the US and the EU, like what we're already witnessing. Additionally, sanctions-busting behavior by BRICS nations, particularly Russia and Iran, which are already under heavy sanctions, could strain international diplomatic relations and lead to further restrictions on trade between BRICS and Western countries. This growing trade conflict may also exacerbate existing tensions in global supply chains, particularly in sectors like energy, technology, where competition for resources is fierce. A more fragmented global trade system may emerge where BRICS members trade predominantly with one another, while the US and Europe create their own competing trade alliances. Number 6, opportunities for emerging markets. Emerging markets, particularly those that join or align with BRICS, stand to benefit significantly from this expansion. Africa in particular could see enhanced opportunities for development and investments. As BRICS looks to increase its influence on the continent by leveraging infrastructure investments, resource extraction, and technology partnerships, BRICS can offer emerging markets access to new markets and capital, potentially accelerating their economic growth. For instance, Ethiopia, which has been one of the fastest growing economies in Africa, could use its BRICS membership to attract foreign direct investments and integrate into the broader BRICS supply chain. At the same time, as BRICS expands, smaller nations may find more flexibility to negotiate trade deals and avoid being locked into trade agreements dominated by the US or Europe. The BRICS model may offer more equitable terms and opportunities for economic sovereignty, allowing emerging markets to focus on development rather than simply servicing debts or meeting the demands of more powerful economies. It is my conclusion for you. A new era of global trade, the expansion of BRICS, is set to reshape global trade by creating a more multipolar, diversified system that reduces reliance on the US dollar and Western-dominated institutions. With a combined economic might that challenges traditional power structure, BRICS nations are poised to exert more influence over trade routes, resources, and global financial systems. While this shift offers significant opportunity for intra-BRICS trade, investments, and infrastructure developments, it also raises the potential for new trade conflicts, geopolitical tensions, and competition with Western economies. Emerging markets aligned with BRICS could see significant gains, particularly in sectors like energy, technology, and commodities. But the global trade landscape will become more fragmented and complex as these new dynamics unfold. As BRICS continues to expand and establish its de-dollarization roadmap, the future of global trade will likely be characterized by competing economic systems and a greater emphasis on regional alliances. The challenge for global businesses and policymakers will be to navigate these changes and capitalize on opportunities presented by this new era of trade. If you like this video, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. As always, prepare yourself for the changing world order. Till next time. Thank you.